Hello, welcome to Standard Voice Television Global News. Today, 13th August 2026, equivalent to Islamic calendar 29th Safar 1448 after Hijrah. The headlines: Federal government equips youth with digital employability skills on entrepreneurship. Nigerian Union of Journalists harp on professional ethical standard for national security. Troops Operation Fasten Yama rescue 18 kidnapped victims, arrest 2 Lakurawa terrorists. On the international scene, President Trump claims of total control of Strait of Hormuz stall. Iran-US peace talk. On sports update, Cameroon beats Morocco, progress to 2026 WAFCON final against Malawi. This and more will be coming to you in the bulletin. Stand by. I am Charity Taylor. The federal government has equipped 239,726 Nigerian youth with digital employability and practical skills through the Nigerian Youth Academy, NIA. Ministry of Youth Development Ayodele Olawande made this known in a statement in Abuja while delivering his address at the commemoration of International Youth Day 2026. He stressed that the achievement underscores the federal government's commitment to equipping young Nigerians with relevant skills, expanding access to economic opportunities, and creating pathways to employment, entrepreneurship, and sustainable livelihoods. On her part, the Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Youth Development, Miriam Ismaila Kashinro, called for stronger collaborations among government institutions, development partners, the private sector, and youth-led organizations to expand opportunities for young Nigerians and ensure that youth-focused intervention are inclusive, sustainable, and responsive to emerging needs. Also, the Director General of the National Youth Service Corps, NYSC, Brigadier General Okakunle Oluseyi Nafiu, reaffirmed the scheme's commitment to supporting initiatives that equip young Nigerians with relevant skills and prepare them for meaningful contributions to national development. Stakeholders in education sector have challenged state governments to move beyond assessing education funds and focus on using them to deliver better learning outcomes for Nigerian children. They made the call at the opening of the 30th quarterly meeting of the management of the Universal Basic Education Commission, UBEC, and the Executive Chairman of State Universal Basic Education Board, SUBEB, in Delta State. UBEC Executive Secretary Aisha Garba raised the alarm on the challenge of unused education funds, warning that money allocated for basic education would have little impact if states failed to deploy it. She stressed that over 65 billion naira in counterpart funding and about 267 billion naira in previously released intervention funds remain unutilized. However, the Governor Sheriff Obore-Wori of Delta State noted that investment in the education sector must ultimately translate into better opportunities for children. Political parties have expressed divergent positions on the proposed arrangement as uncertainty continues to trail the plan for a single opposition presidential candidate ahead of the 2027 general election. The development followed a call by the Group of 100 Nigerian, also known as G100, led by former All Progressive Congress APC chieftain Salisu Lukman, for opposition presidential candidates and political leaders to close ranks and present a common candidate against President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in 2027. The group had urged former Vice President Atiku Abubakar of the African Democratic Congress ADC, Peter Obi of the Nigerian Democratic Congress NDC, and their respective running mates Rotimi Amechi and Rabiu Kwankwaso, as well as other opposition candidates, to lesser individual interests to the broader objective of defeating the APC-led federal government in 2027. The G100 also argued that a divided opposition, regardless of its numerical strength, would struggle to defeat the ruling party, making a single presidential candidacy necessary to consolidate opposition votes. The Nigerian Union of Journalists, NUJ, has applauded security agencies for their partnership and support towards promoting the safety and security of journalists and other members of the media community. NUJ made the commendation in a communique issued at the end of its National Executive Council NEC meeting in Dutse, Jigawa State, signed by NUJ Assistant National Secretary Akorede R. Opeyemi on behalf of the National Secretary. It urged the security agencies to sustain and deepen this partnership, particularly in view of the increasing security challenges confronting journalists in the course of discharging their professional responsibilities. NEC, however, called on journalists and media establishments to uphold the highest standards of professionalism, accuracy, and responsibility in reporting terrorism, banditry, insurgency, and other forms of insecurity across the country. The NUJ also urged journalists to avoid sensationalism, the glorification of terrorists, bandits, and other criminal elements, and also endorsed the proposed Northern State Security Summit to be hosted by Zamfara State, citing the prevailing security challenges confronting the northern regions. The National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP, in partnership with the European Union (EU) support, has trained media practitioners on ethical and professional reporting of sexual gender-based violence. The two-day Sexual and Gender-Based Violence Media Core Workshop brought together 40 media practitioners from Kaduna and the Federal Capital Territory (FCT) with the aim of strengthening the quality, ethics, and coordination of media reporting on SGBV. Civil Society and Communication Lead for the EU support to end SGBV program, Winifred Atru Egbusin, urged media practitioners to improve their understanding of SGBV and give greater attention to survivor support centers. Also, media mentor for International IDEA on SGBV, Tim Anebonam, highlighted the critical role of journalists in shaping public understanding and response to sexual and gender-based violence. On his part, Head of Press and Public Relations at NAPTIP, Vincent Adekoye, emphasized the importance of ensuring that persons with disabilities are included in SGBV prevention, reporting, and response efforts. The news is coming to you on Standard Voice Television. Still to come in the news. Troops Operation Fast and Yama rescue 18 kidnapped victims, arrest 2 Lakurawa terrorists. On international scene, President Trump claims of total control of Straits of Hormuz, stall Iran-US peace talks. On sports updates, Cameroon beat Morocco, progress to 2020's WAFCON final against Malawi. This and more will come to you after this break.
Good day, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ezekiel Damfulani. I'm the Managing Director of the Nigerian Agricultural Insurance Corporation, NAIC. It is my pleasure to introduce NAIC, Nigeria's foremost agricultural insurance institution, established to provide insurance protection and risk management solutions for farmers, agribusinesses, and agricultural investments across the country. At NAIC, our mission is to safeguard farmers against losses arising from natural disasters, adverse weather conditions, pests, diseases, and other unforeseen risks that threaten agricultural productivity. By providing reliable insurance coverage, we help farmers recover from losses, improve access to finance, and contribute to national and food security and economic growth. In line with renewed hope agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR, we are committed to strengthening NAIC's capacity by expanding insurance coverage, embracing technology and innovation, and ensuring that more farmers and agricultural stakeholders across Nigeria benefit from our services. Agriculture remains the backbone of our economy, and insurance is the critical tool for protecting investments, enhancing productivity, and promoting sustainable growth in the sector. Through strategic partnership, improved service delivery, and digital transformation, NAI will continue to support farmers and contribute to Nigerian food security and economic development. Together, we can build a more resilient agricultural sector and secure the future of farming in Nigeria. Thank you, and may God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Welcome back, and now the news continue. Troops of Section 2 of Operation Fasanyama has rescued 18 kidnapped victims and arrested 2 suspects, members of the Lakurawa terrorist group, in separate counter-terrorism operations in Zamfara State. The acting Deputy Director, Army Public Relations of the Task Force, Lieutenant Colonel Aliyu Danja, who disclosed this in a statement in Gusau, said the operations followed intelligence-led response to terrorist activities and distress calls within the state. He explained that in the first operation, troops responded to a distress call concerning the sighting of terrorists on the outskirts of Sabongari village in Karan Namoda local government area, adding that some terrorists fled across a river line with some of their captives before the troops could rescue them. In another intelligence-driven operation, troops also arrested 2 members of the Lakurawa terrorist groups identified as Abdurrahman Boye and Muhammad Jamilu, both nationals of Niger Republic. Danja explained that preliminary intelligence indicated that the suspects were allegedly involved in terrorist activities within the Zurmi general area, including providing information and technical assistance for the emplacement of improvised explosive devices along the Zurmi MSR road. The federal government is expanding its safe school intervention beyond school premises to vulnerable host communities, borderland and riverine areas to strengthen security and resilience around learning centers nationwide. The national coordinator of the Safe School Initiative Nigeria, Halimu Ilya Ibrahim, made this known in Plateau State at the 4th National Camp of Man O' War, Nigeria at the Citizenship and Leadership Training Center, Mountain School, Shere Hills. She explained that the strategy was designed to address school security holistically by strengthening the communities where schools are located, stressing that school safety could not be achieved without securing a wider environment. Speaking earlier, the National Commander of Man O' War Nigeria, Adedamola Gwenga, stated that the organization is strengthening the capacity of its volunteers to support safer schools and resilient communities across the country. He said the coordinators would be equipped with knowledge and practical skills in safeguarding and child protection, early response, emergency preparedness, security awareness, school risk management, community mobilization, and resilience building. The Sultanate Council has urged Muslims to look out for the new moon of Rabi'ul Awal 1448 after Hijrah today, Thursday, August 13, 2026. Wazir in Sokoto and Chairman Advisory Committee on Religious Affairs, Sultanate Council, Sokoto, Sabo Wali Jinedu, in a statement, said Thursday corresponds to the 29th day of Safar 1448 after Hijrah. The statement also urged Muslims across Nigeria to search for the crescent and report any sighting through the appropriate traditional authorities. The council directed Muslims who sight the crescent to report it to the nearest district or village head for onward communication to the Sultan of Sokoto, Saad Abubakar, who is also the President General of the Nigerian Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs, NSCIA. Senior Iranian source says peace talks with the U.S. remain at loggerhead over efforts to agree a permanent end to the war in the Gulf, adding that there had been no progress in discussions to revive the interim deal agreed in June and define a time frame to implement it. This is coming after President Donald Trump issued another broadside against Iran's leader, dealing a further blow to hopes on a resolution to the crisis following new attacks on shipping in the region on Thursday. The parties agreed in June declared an immediate and permanent termination of military operations on all fronts, but quickly unraveled with Donald Trump saying it was over on July 7, and Iran's foreign ministry declaring it suspended a week later. The US has accused Iran of failing to honor an agreement under the deal to reopen the vital Straits of Hormuz shipping routes. Meanwhile, Tehran says Washington has reneged on its commitments, including lifting a blockade of Iranian ports and releasing frozen Iranian assets. The indomitable Lionesses of Cameroon beat Morocco 3-1 in penalty shootout after a full-time goalless draw in the semi-final of the 2026 Women's African Cup of Nations WAFCON. Cameroon will trash it out in the finals with Malawi, which will be played this Sunday in Rabat. In the first game, Malawi beat Algeria 3-1 to reach the final in the debut outing at the tournament, while Tabitha Chawinga scored a brace alongside her sister. Also, Temwa got on the score sheets to ensure the Scorchers' fairy tale run continues. The clash between Cameroon and Morocco ended goalless after 120 minutes of actions. Finally, on the news, the recap of the top stories again. Federal government equips youth with digital employability skills on entrepreneurship. Nigerian Union of Journalists harp on professional ethical standard for national security. Troops Operation Fasten Yama rescue 18 kidnapped victims, arrest 2 Lakurawa terrorists. On the international scene, President Trump claims of total control of Strait of Hormuz stall. Iran-US peace talk. On sports update, Cameroon beats Morocco, progress to 2026 WAFCON final against Malawi. On behalf of the news editor, Ilya Adamu Alta, and the production crew, I am Charity Taylor. Thank you and bye for now.